going on, boys? Not just the boys, the ladies as well. Hope all is well on the other side. Sorry, I need to stop flexing my chest. That's a bit narcissistic, but I mean, come on, dude. My chest looks prominent. I gotta mention it. Elephant in the room. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, hope the ladies and the gents are doing quite well on this fine, wonderful evening of the internet. So, what's the one thing that being successful, right, in all dimensions has in common? Okay, because there's one thing that I've noticed, and it's actually not even just one thing. There's quite a few things that are in common with every successful endeavor that anyone wants to pursue. All right, can you think of it? Can you think of it? Do you know what it is? A trait, a practice, maybe, or a quality? Give it some time, think over it, and then I'll give you what I think about it. Right? I love the silence. Right, hopefully you've got a few ideas. But the one that I have in mind is concentration. Concentration practice. Every successful person has to concentrate on what they want to become successful at. And a reminder, if you want to be successful at anything, you can't focus exclusively on the goal. You've got to focus exclusively on the system or the process, okay? How are you going to get there? When are you going to implement it? How are you going to do it? Yeah, when are you going to do it? And how are you going to keep that practice of doing that thing consistent so that you can master that thing that you're trying to get good at? That's going to get you to your successful goal. This sounds a lot to me like the five major qualities of mindfulness. Yeah, you've got concentration, you've got mindfulness, you've got right effort, right attitude, and there's one more. I think there's 6 or 7, but I think I've got 5 in my mind right now. But the major one that I want to focus on today is the concentration and the mindfulness part. The concentration and the mindfulness is so immense, and it's so important in mastering any skill, especially social skills, especially social mastery. Why? Well, think about it. A charismatic person is usually someone who is present, who is in the moment. They're not thinking about neurotic stuff. Their mind isn't overthinking, and they're not insecure, and they're not anxious, and they're not apprehensive, and they're not all timid and closed off, right? Think of the socially unconfident person. I'm sure me and you have all been in that position at one point. At least I know I have. And I remember what it was like for me. I'd feel like my breath is tight. I wouldn't be able to breathe relaxed or in a relaxed fashion. I'd be overly focused on how I'm coming across to the other person. If I've read any kind of social dynamics information, then usually that's in my mind and I can't actually be present or be focused in what's going on right now. So I wouldn't be able to be in the moment. Now, being in the moment sounds all fine and dandy, but really it has a fundamental benefit to it. It has a fundamental beneficial quality. What is being in the moment? What's the advantage of it? The advantage is you can respond creatively. Yeah, you can respond creatively to things that are happening in the here and the now. And with concentration practice, you can actually develop the ability to influence what happens in the present moment. You can develop this quality with ease through meditation. That's the workout. But the practice, so you do the workout, the training, but the practice happens in the reality, in real life, when you're in a situation, in a social situation. So let's say somebody is talking about something, blah, blah, blah. They're venting about some bully at work or whatever, and it's not really a productive conversation, and you don't really know how to get them to stop talking about this stupid thing. Let's say you've got a girl in front of you and she starts talking about her exes. Happened to me on a few occasions. What do? What does the normal neurotic person do? The neurotic person, first of all, gets apprehensive or gets insecure or jealous, and why is she talking about her ex-boyfriend, or why is this person venting to me about their problems? First thing you do is you become present and you listen, and then you gently, very gently, take the attention away from that and onto something else, just as you do with your own mindfulness practice. Yeah, when you have a negative thought or your mind starts to wander, what do you do in meditation practice? Like, to the meditators on my channel, what do? You reframe. You look at the negative thought, you look at it, and then you consciously bring your attention away from it and back into the present moment, onto your object of concentration or whatever it may be. This works immensely. immensely in social situations, because sometimes you're going to get people who maybe insult you or might do something that you don't necessarily agree with or you find stupid or distasteful. You might have the conversation going into an area that you don't want to really be talking about. Easily, you reframe it with this simple but effective technique. Meditation, concentration practice, and this whole reframing thing that I'm talking about greatly intensifies another thing which we all want to develop in ourselves, because we all want to be great at social mastery. We want to master this thing that we call social skills. All right, and the greatest way to do it is by developing your personal magnetism. Now, there's so many practices that I can tell you to increase your personal magnetism. I can tell you to speak in this certain way or have this kind of eye contact or this open body language. That all comes with this thing that I'm going to tell you about, and that's called being relaxed. Being in the moment and being relaxed and being present is really the end goal of all of our practices, because that's what really attracts people to you. I think about it from the perspective of other people. People are neurotic, they're constantly overthinking, they're in their heads, they can't relax, they're tense 24/7, and they're constantly trying to find ways to stop being tense. You know? When you come across these kind of people, because of your presence, because of your internal sense of peace and relaxation, you talk in such a way and your being radiates such an energy that when people come into contact with you, they feel more relaxed. They become more present, they become more conscious, they become more aware. And it's through your speech, through your dialogue, through your ability to influence them, through various thought reformation language techniques that you're using, and you're not even using it with the intent of trying to manipulate them. You're merely talking, but it's because your being is so relaxed, it's because you're so present and you're so mindful, that this influence is just infectious and it attracts people towards you. Even the most hardcore skeptic who you're talking to, who has a very rational, scientific, analytical mind, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter, because they're still suffering. They're in a source of pain, and they're constantly trying to stop that source of pain by doing all these various things. Remember, it's not what people say, it's what people do. That's one law which I've found to be very valuable in my own personal and professional or even sexual or any kind of life that I'm engaged in. It's not what people say, it's what people do. And you, by mastering and developing this ability to be present and mindful, allows other people to show you their relaxation. They might still talk blah 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 about all those things that bother them or that they are bothered by in the world or that they want to get out of you or whatever it is. That doesn't mean anything. It means absolutely zero. Yeah? Because their being will show you that they're more relaxed, they're more peaceful, and they're more blissful in your presence. Okay? Why else would you not practice this? I don't know. Now, of course, meditation is the beginning, but it's not the end of this. Meditation is kind of like the foundation of your practice. But then you go out into the real world and you practice this. You go with people. You read stuff like Dale Carnegie. You read stuff like The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Is that his name? I think it's Robert Greene. And you practice this stuff in reality. And you'll remember, you're doing it for their benefit. You're not doing it. We're not being manipulators. We're not becoming narcissists or psychopaths. We're becoming people who are agents of very good and beneficial change in other people. But of course, it starts with you. You've got to become your own helper first. You can't try and help other people before helping yourself. Focus on that, and the rest will come. Okay? And remember, you've got to practice this stuff like it's a workout. Treat it like you're going to the gym. Treat it like you're doing it to better yourself. You're not trying to get the end result yet. You're trying to solely work on the process of getting better, of making those 1% improvements every single day.